Hello, I'm Kieran at KWSA and welcome to our 24th video on English vocabulary. This week we look at 6 words and phrases with a sporty theme. We look at pronunciation, definitions and examples. So let's start with number 1. Hello and welcome to this week's lesson. This week we'll look at the 6 words that were most popular on social media in the past week, and these words have a very sporty and athletic theme this week. So let's go ahead and look at these words and phrases. Okay, so the first word we have this week is equestrian. Now, what does equestrian mean? Well, this is a sport which is carried out by riding horses. It is often done by a horse rider guiding a horse over a series of jumps. So there's the definition, and we learned a lot from that. Now let's learn more by looking at an example. The horse rider took part in an equestrian event during the summer. They were lucky enough to finish second and win a medal. The second word we bring to you this week is also another sporty one, and this one is a very jumpy one, so let's have a look. This word is hurdles. And what does hurdles mean? Well, let's take a look at the definition. These are obstacles which runners must jump over in a hurdles race. Hurdle events are key parts of all athletic events. So that's fascinating to learn that in the definition. So let's learn exactly what runners might do in a hurdles race in the example. The runner had practiced hurdling for the past 6 months before his race. He ran in the 110-meter race and came 8th. Moving on to the next word. This word is describing something which is a very long and tiring race. And this one is marathon. So what does marathon mean exactly? Well, as ever, let's take a look at the definition. So this is a long distance race which is 42.195 kilometers in length. Marathons often take place annually in the world's largest cities. Again, that's incredibly interesting to learn about marathon in the definition. So now let's also have a look at an example to help us learn further. The marathon runners began their race on a cool and bright autumn morning. The runners had all practiced for many months. We now move on to the next word, and this is another exciting one. So this word is javelin. So what is a javelin? Well, let's have a look in the definition. This is a very long, thin and sharp object which sports people throw to see who can throw it the furthest in a competition. So that's interesting, and thank you to the definition for explaining that to us. So now let's move on to the example for us to learn a little more. The man threw his javelin first at the athletics competition. He was able to throw it 50 meters. This was a really good score at the beginning of the competition. Moving on to the penultimate phrase of this week's podcast, we look at Fringe Event. Now, this is a strange sounding phrase, but what does it mean exactly? Well, let's have a look in the definition. This is a side event which is smaller than the main event taking place. They often have less popular but interesting events taking place here. So that was the definition, and now let's have a look at an example to help us understand Fringe Event a bit more. The music fans enjoyed the Fringe Event before waiting for their main event of the night. Many enjoyed the smaller band's songs and gradually became fans. And now we have reached the final phrase of this week's lesson. And this one is skater girl. So that's an interesting and funny sounding phrase. So what does it mean, I wonder? Well, let's take a look in the definition. This is an informal term used for a girl who enjoys to skateboard. This is usually a positive name given to someone. So there we have it with the definition of skater girl. So now let's have a look at an example where skater girl can be used. The skater girl enjoyed going down to the skate park at the weekend to enjoy a few hours of skating with other skater girls and skater boys. Thank you for taking part in this week's lesson. We really appreciate your company. We will be back with more lessons each week to provide you with the most important English words and phrases. Why not check out our website and find out how you can further improve your English with our online self-study courses. We have a free 2-week trial so you can learn exactly how to use our course by the time the trial ends. Feel free to check out our social media feeds to keep up with the latest news. Anyway, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!